guys, today I'm going to attempt baked falafel. We love falafels, but at our local restaurant they fry them in oil, so we can't really eat them very often there and shouldn't be eating them at all. So I've got to learn to make them, right? That's the way that goes. So I found a recipe, and you know me, I'm not real good with recipes. So I got the general idea, and we're gonna roll with it, as we do. So you're going to need a little bit of preparation for this because you're not going to use cooked chickpeas. You're going to soak your dry chickpeas for anywhere from 1 to 24 hours. Okay, you can do it overnight, which is what I did. And as you can see, they're starting to get little sprouted tails there. And if I left them in there, they certainly would continue to sprout. So you know that they're fairly soft. They've soaked long enough, but they're not cooked. Because if they're cooked, then they're just going to turn to mush. It's going to be hummus, basically, when you grind it up. So this is 1 pound of chickpeas that I've soaked overnight. And then I've got my ground cumin. I've got a red onion. And I've got some organic minced garlic. You can use fresh. You'll need 3 cloves or 1 tablespoon. And then some fresh parsley. And I just purchased this at the grocery store right there in the produce section. And that's organic as well. And this is 0.5 ounces or 14 grams. So half an ounce. And if you grow it yourself, all the better. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to have to do this in increments in my food processor because my food processor is very small. So I am going to do a little at a time. Okay. And you see that did not take very long at all. So you just want to chop it up real good. See that? There we are. Now you can make smaller batches if you want and just do half a pound of chickpeas, which is probably about what I just did. Filled up my little food processor. That's fine. If you watch me and you know me at all, I like to batch cook and I like to do things in a big way. I think I must have been an army cook in a previous life because I can't do anything by halves. I always feel like I'm feeding an army. And that's really good for my family because then I've got stuff in the freezer for a later date, right? Apologize for the noise and for not doing this ahead of time, and I probably could have done, but you would have missed that and you wouldn't have seen the procedure and that, you know, they needed to be uncooked, and you wouldn't know how long to blitz them for in your food processor. So I like to take you through things start to finish, even if you do have to sit through me grinding, and I apologize for that, and I hope you do appreciate that that is why I do it this way. Now, since that is just a small little one, I'm going to put the rest of this ingredients in there so that they all grind together. So I'll have my red onion, and then my parsley as well. Get that open. And you really do need the fresh parsley. and not a dried. Push that all down there so it all gets chopped up as it's supposed to. And feel free to adjust your quantities for your needs. If you want to add more onion because you're doing a big batch like I am, or more parsley, more garlic, by all means, you do that. Sorry, my eyes are a little bit watery from this chopped onion. So you know it's strong. Okay, now get this all mixed up. And then we're going to add our garlic, and like I said, about a tablespoon or 3 cloves if you're using fresh. And then a teaspoon of cumin. And I'm going to come back after my eyes stop watering. Okay, sorry about that interruption. My eyes were completely watering. So now that I've got everything actually chopped up, I'm going to do small batches back into the food processor just to get it smaller and evenly distributed, so that the falafels will actually hold together. We need it to be able to form some sort of semblance of a paste, but not be too awfully wet. So, let's see. Show that to you. That should work. Now, falafels generally are little balls. My husband likes it in a burger. So do I. So I'm going to do some small, and I'm just going to form little balls, as they generally are. And then I will probably do some in a little bigger patty form. We'll see how that goes. And I'm just kind of squishing them with my hands to just try and form a ball. And then I'm putting them on my mat here, my silicone mat, that I use when I use my, when I bake my veggie patties, my veggie burgers, that my husband takes to work, and sometimes we have for dinner. And my daughter will probably prefer them in the little balls, like a meatball. And then hubby and I, of course, will like them in the patties. So this way I'll have both. And see how well those are turning out? Sorry, can you see that? There we go. Just kind of squishing them together. And really the juice from the onion is what's holding that together. So if you're sensitive like I clearly am, you may have some problems with those onions as well. Okay, now let's see about doing bigger one. Like a patty. Just because if we're going to have it for dinner, it's easier to eat, you know, in a patty, I think. You're going to have a lot of it. So we'll do a little of both. Sorry, showing you my back there. So I'm just kind of doing a big ball and then kind of flattening it with my hand. And then plopping it down. Okay, and one of my balls has already fallen apart. There we go. So I am going to cook these at 375. Sorry, cloud just went over. You saw how dark that got. This is why I need a halo light, guys. So if you haven't contributed yet, trying to raise enough money to get a halo light. I am about 90% there. So your contributions really help. Buy me a coffee. Look for that link down below. So I'm going to cook these at 375 for 20 minutes. Flip them over and do another 15 to 20 minutes. We'll see. And I'll show you how they turn out, okay? Okay, the first batch is out of the oven, and don't they look nice? So we've got the little falafel balls, and then I've got some of the little patties that would make a nice sandwich, and I can make them a little bigger, I guess, to fit on a piece of bread. We like to just have things like this for dinner, kind of like as a main course. And I'd like to show you a sauce recipe to dip these in. Tahini sauce is kind of, I guess, the traditional sauce of a falafel. And I'm using the absolute last of the tahini in my jar. And I've probably got a good tablespoon there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And I'd say probably half a teaspoon for this amount. And some lemon juice, and this is just from concentrate. If you've got some fresh lemons, by all means do squeeze some fresh lemon juice. And I'd say about a teaspoon of that. And then I want just a little bit of water, probably about a tablespoon of water. And then just give that a really gentle stir, so that you don't slush it all out of your little bowl. You want it to be stirred up really good, but just be gentle at first so that it doesn't slosh while that liquid is still real thin. And there we go. And that's our sauce. Now you can thin that down if you want it thinner. I don't like it too thin because then when, if I'm doing it on a sandwich, it'll kind of run out. So I want it to be a nice, thick kind of paste to be able to either dip or, like I said, spread on a sandwich. And then for this, I'm just going to put a little on there and give it a taste. Really good. So that's what the inside looks like. Pardon my mouth. Still chewing. And there you have it. So, hubby will be real pleased. We'll have falafels at home now. No oil. Have a good day, guys. Give me a thumbs up. Share with your friends.